We are finalizing an amazing night of heavy music brought to you us from, of course, Shadows Fall here with Brian Fair. We have Fear Factory, and Legacy of Disorder.
Yep, Devastated, the Browning, man, it was a good night. Sold out show in New York, which, I mean, that's all you can ask for.
Yeah,
It physically doesn't get better than a sold out show. So.
It proves that you said it on stage, we are alive and well.
Yes, indeed, man. Good times tonight.
Hey, by the way, as I said before, the new record's coming on Tuesday. I've heard it, but when I saw the songs today, man, holy shit.
Yeah, we're pretty excited to, like, not only about the new record, we want to play the songs live. You know, we wanted to bring them out. We know, like, occasionally when you go to see a band, you don't want to hear all the new stuff before it's even out, but we're like, man, we're got to at least play 3 tunes, like, because we're just so stoked on how it came out. And also, we write songs for the stage. You know, like, the studio is fun, but, like, metal's all about the live experience, the crowd, and the energy, so we're stoked to be playing these tunes live.
Hey, I mean, I've seen you guys a few times, and obviously, I mean, New York has always been good to you guys, and vice versa, and Shadows Fall to New York as well. But what everybody said tonight is like, God damn, they sound tighter than ever. you feel like maybe it's because you're inspired by, let's say, a band that is so tight like Fear Factory that you kind of like say, we got to step our game up?
Oh, yeah, they're like a machine, so, you know, like, yeah, totally, man. And it's funny, like, we've been, you know, playing for so many years that you start reading each other's minds on stage, and we're at that point. And coming out of the studio, honestly, we haven't had this much fire under our ass for a record in a long time. We took 2 full years off to write and get everything tight and demo, and then get in the studio and do everything we could. So when we hit the stage, things are just flying. And then, you know, you play with a band like Fear Factory, and you know you got to step your game up. So it's like the perfect combination. So, and we're just, you know, feeling it, man. Just, you know, going for it.
And who was in the production team for Fire in the Sky?
We had Adam D, who most people know as the dude in the Daisy Dukes with a cape on from Killswitch Engage. So, and the dude's amazing, not only in the studio, but as a musician. So it makes it such an easy experience. If he wants to try and tell you to, like, you know, step something up or do something a different way, he can show you, like, because he's a musician, or he can speak to you in a way that, you know, you understand. And he got us to, like, really, you know, get outside of our comfort zones, but keep our traditional sound, you know. So it's always going to be melodic, thrashy metal with Shadows Fall with a little bit of death metal influence. But, like, he helped us as songwriters to, like, realize, like, you know, these are, you know, the places you can go. And that's what you want from a producer. Take your ideas, make that one suggestion that takes them to a whole nother level. And Adam's definitely that guy.
And if you have to pinpoint a couple of songs that we were in the studio working on them, that we were just like, damn. Like, you know, when he hits a spot.
Yeah, you know, there's a few times. One that was kind of different than anything we've ever had happen was Divide and Conquer was pretty much written at, like, the last second before we tore down the drums. Jay had tracked all the tracks we had written. So once the drums are broken down, you know, you can't reset them up because it's never going to sound the same. So we knew if that was the end. Matt had been in the other room working on, like, some riffs and this crazy little idea, and brought them into Jay. They started jamming on them for a while, and they're like, wow, this is turning into a song. But it didn't have a chorus. And we didn't even know John was listening, but John was just in the other room with his guitar, opens the door and is like, you need a chorus? Here's your fucking chorus. Plugs in and just plays this riff, and we're like, and there's our chorus. So that song came together like one of those, like, it fell out of the sky moments, you know, where you're like, that's when you know it's a good song. There was no overthinking. There was no, like, chipping away at the song. It was the pure inspiration. Minutes later, you had the actual, like, you know, like, product of it. So it was cool to go that quick, you know.
And it's a very important record for you guys, as you said before. I mean, you're important in your career. I mean, I wouldn't say that you still have to prove yourself, because in metal, we all have to prove ourselves all the time. But I think you're always, like, going for the next scale.
Yeah, exactly. Well, also with metal, it's such a ever-changing and exciting kind of, like, music that, you know, it's always progressing. So you know that you can't just rest on your laurels and, like, be like, oh, you know, we did this 10 years ago, and people are gonna be like, 10 years ago, like, that shit's, we've gone light years ahead of that, you know. So you have to step up your game every time, and that's what I love about it. It's so experimental. It's so wide open for ideas that's what's exciting about metal. That's what keeps us doing it 15 years later as a band, you know, is the fact that you can push the envelope, you can do new things. And if you don't on your record, fans are going to realize it. They don't want you to change, you know, 100%, like, take a right turn, but they want you to push what you do. You know, if you do the same record every time, you know, what's the point?
Yeah, nobody wants to see that. And is there any plans?
Unless it's AC/DC. You guys can actually do the same record every time, and I'll be stoked.
And of course, now that the record's coming out, and what are the plans?
Then we head to the UK for a little bit, and then we'll figure it out from there, man. You know, we're gonna try and tour and support as much as we can. We're just stoked that the record's coming out finally, and, you know, hit the road.
And which town have you not played yet that you're just like, you want to play there?
Which town or which country? Like,
Either.
Any, you know, I've always wanted to play in Indonesia. I've always wanted to play South Africa. And we finally got to South America, but there's a lot of countries down there that we haven't gotten to yet. So hopefully we can do that. As far as cities, there's only, I think, one state we haven't played. I don't think we played Wyoming.
Wow.
I think that's the only place. But we might, the scary part is we might have. It's been 15 years, man. I can't remember every single city. But outside of that, I think we've hit every other state. So now it's time to start going places that haven't seen metal yet. Like show up on Easter Island and play like a metal festival.
And before we get out of here, man, why don't we tell a little bit about, the whole New England metal scene, how you all kind of built a brotherhood and then you all helped each other. And when you think about it, it wasn't built because of the sound itself, but it was the people that were like influencing each other.
It was a bunch of massholes playing metal, man. That's all it was. What's great is it was a really small group of people, small group of friends. We all had similar ideas about, pushing heavy music in different ways. There was, like you said, there was no particular sound. Unearth sound different than Shadows Fall. Shadows Fall sound different than Hatebreed. Like everyone was doing their own thing. Killswitch, sounding different than everyone else. All the Remains taken a different way. But the group of musicians was really small. So we all had played in bands earlier on in our careers or filled in for other people. And the kind of crossover, and it's almost like incest, like every band is like, had other dudes from other bands. So it's cool that it became like a worldwide phenomenon, but it's something we never saw coming. People always ask like, what were the old days like when it would be like all these bands playing together? You're like, it was us playing to each other. There was no one else there because no one gave a shit. So, and then somehow by grassroots style and just working, it grew into something huge.
All right, the world is listening. Why should they pick up Fire in the Sky?
Because if you love metal, you'll find something to love about Fire from the Sky. And, still buy records. I know it's weird. It sounds weird. Drive to the store, buy the CD, because that way we can pay our rent and buy beer, and we'll be stoked to make more metal. And you guys can have a great record that you can actually hold in your hands and not lose when your hard drive crashes. So you wouldn't steal $10 on my wallet. I know you wouldn't, but someone will steal your record from the internet. So think about it. You don't care.
Thank you very much.
They're gonna steal it. It's free.
Please, guys, watching. Because you're always collecting new fans, as in metal.
Totally.
If you haven't checked Shadows Fall out, please do when they come to a town near you. They never ever disappoint.
Yeah.
You're a firecracker on stage.
Oh, dude, the live show is what metal's all about, man. We go out and have a good time. We're not here to like be bummed out that we play rock and roll for a living. We go out there and have a good time. It's not a show; it's a party.
And how about with your amazing dreadlock? How do you sleep with that, man? That's what people are asking me.
It's fun. If you go to our Facebook and you'll find the Bunk Monster. Our bass player who's filling in right now took a picture where it's pretty much my dreads fall out. If you've ever been on a tour bus, it's just 3 columns of bunks, and I'm on the top, so my hair just like hangs out when I roll over, and it's about 5.5 feet long at this point, so it hangs pretty far. And the people below me have to go through what I call a car wash to get out every morning. Like it's kind of like the beaded. We're at the Gramercy Theatre tonight. It's kind of like the beaded door to get back to this area. You guys all went through it. You got to part the sea and cruise out. So Ed, our fill-in bass player, took a picture of called the Bunk Monster. So head to our Facebook and you can check it out. But that's what, it's not easy to sleep with, but it's like having a buddy in there. It's like one of those cuddle pillows.
All right, we're gonna sign off. Again, thank you for everybody who's watching. Of course, the fans for selling out New York City tonight.
New York City, baby. Thank you for giving love to a bunch of massholes. Although we do have one New Yorker. Our drummer's a New Yorker. He's from upstate, so we got one Yankees fan. So you got to show us some love.
All right, thank you, Brian.
Awesome.